This perp back with another video, and I just got done watching episode 5 of Mare of Easttown, and this episode is incredible. It's a shame that we only got 2 episodes left. I don't know what to expect, but we have a lot to dive into. So if this is the first time you're checking out one of my reviews, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you want to. And let's just dive right into this because I don't want to waste no time. So we see this car accident, it hits a pole. We end up finding out that it's Betty, the nosy neighbor. Very sad. But during this little temporary blackout, we get a little glimpse of Lori looking at John talking to their son Ryan about keeping some type of secret. We'll get back to that. Then we have this scene of Frank and Siobhan talking, and Frank's just trying to see where Siobhan's head's at, making sure she's okay. While this is going on, Mare is watching the documentary that Siobhan is working on that has to do with Kevin. And fun fact, me and Kevin have the same birthday. That's pretty wild. Little interesting thing that I saw that I picked up on in that clip. But it was really sad of seeing her, really watch that clip. And we get a lot of information, especially during this therapy session where Mark kind of opens up about her life, and we get a lot more backstory on Kevin and how he used to kind of flip out on her and his sister. That it's kind of hereditary. Really sad stuff, man. It's really sad, and she's really worried about Drew, her grandson, and what that means for him. Will that pass on to him? So a lot of interesting things going on with that therapy session. Then we get a scene of Siobhan talking to her new little love interest, and she starts talking about going to LA, and Siobhan kind of makes this weird look like, I already made kind of commitments to go this place for school, and I feel like something between those two will become problematic where she's going to have to kind of part ways with her and go back to Becca. That's my predictions. Then we get a scene of kind of like all the adults kind of talking. You have Lori there, you have Mare, you have John, and you have Billy, and you have Helen there for a brief moment because they're all talking about Betty's death and kind of making a light jokes about it. And that leads into something kind of funny down the line in this episode. We'll get into that very shortly. But one thing that kind of starts to raise an eyebrow is when Mare starts to ask John about Kenny, and do you think Kenny would have ever put his hands on Aaron? And we come to find out that Aaron used to stay with different relatives, especially Billy, and Billy just starts to act really weird and ends up storming out of the house. So what do you guys think? Do you think that makes Billy the actual father? I really think that's possible, and that's very likely to happen. We get to this really interesting scene where I think will play up to Brianna's redemption, even though she is trash for beating up on Aaron. But I think it's starting to take a toll on her because I don't think she ever wanted Aaron to be dead. She just wanted her to stay away from Dylan. And Dylan's not so innocent either, because I'm starting to kind of suspect him in foul play with Aaron as well, that he could be very much Aaron's killer. Let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments below, because he acts really different towards Brianna in this moment, and I think that's going to lead into her being redeemed as a character. She might have to work with Jess or something like that. We'll get into that very shortly as well. Then we get a scene of Katie Bailey kind of taking care of the new chick. She's kind of withdrawing. Meanwhile, Mare is trying to track down more information, so she asks for her old friend for some more information. We'll get back into that because that leads into something crazy at the end of this episode. Shooting over to the school where we see Ryan's sister getting picked on. Ryan ends up just taking out all his anger on this kid and beating the shit out of him, as he should get his ass whooped. You know, you're picking on my sister or somebody I care about, you deserve to get your ass whooped. But there's something behind it, as Lori gets to talk to Ryan, and, you know, he makes mention of, oh, is your father doing this again? And I'm thinking to myself, like, what does that mean? Then she kind of clarifies that, you know, his father's been cheating again. John's been cheating on Lori again with the same woman. I don't know who this woman is. I don't know if that even matters at this point, but that kind of is why Ryan's kind of acting kind of weird, kind of different, and she's kind of noticed that, and you could see that throughout this episode. Now we get one of the funniest scenes of this episode of the series so far, where they're all coming together at Beth's house and, you know, trying to just pay their respects. And out of nowhere, you know, while Mare's talking to Helen's talking about, oh, have you talked to Frank about this whole situation? You know, Faye kind of left him hanging. You might want to go talk to him. But her spot gets kind of blown up because Beth's husband says, oh, I've had an affair with Helen, and just, I literally bust out laughing. I was on the floor crying, laughing, bro. It was hysterical. And this was the first time that you really saw Mare kind of like get a good laugh. And, you know, it was dope to see that moment for Mare. It was definitely the positive of this episode, I would say, but that shit just comes shooting down as this episode goes along. Mare is now getting ready for a date with Zabel, or Colin, and it doesn't really go too well because she's too focused on this case, where Colin wants to kind of just really get to know Mare, but she's way too far deep into this case to where she doesn't even care about this date. And it's a shame because, you know, Colin really, really, really likes Mare. So while this is going on, you have Helen inviting Carrie to the house to kind of just look after Drew, which I don't know if that's going to be problematic. That's definitely going to be problematic if Mare finds that out and whatnot. And she just understands from a mother's standpoint that she wants Carrie to be in Drew's life, but she also does not like the idea of Drew being taken away from the family. Speaking of family, we get this really sad scene of John taking the walk of shame, as Lori's just like has this fed up kind of look on her face, and his son Ryan doesn't even want to look him in the face. I don't know where that's gonna go. We'll just wait and see. Then we get Jess acting really suspicious and hops in a car with Dylan and some other dude, and they go to Aaron's house to find the actual journals where she lied to Mare about, and he also takes the money for the ear surgery, which really shows how much of a scumbag that Dylan is, and he should have caught that bullet, to be honest. And while that's going on, Mare thinks that she sees the poacher that's been going around town, but ends up making a mistake. While that's going on, you have Deacon Mark catching an ass whooping by some locals, you know, because there's rumors going around that he's the one that has something to do with Aaron's death. And we get a pretty crazy, you know, confession from him that, you know, that I think clears his name. Let me know in the comments below, do you believe his story that he was telling Dan in this moment to kind of save his ass? While this is going on, Mare's getting kind of chewed out for what she's done, because she's not even supposed to be doing the stuff that she's doing. She doesn't have a badge or anything, because with that with her not having a badge, she could get other people hurt or even killed. Wink, wink. So going back to Aaron's house, they're kind of just having this bonfire, burning the journals and stuff. Jess finds something that I feel like will be put into play by next episode or by the final episode that kind of blow everything out of the water with Aaron's character and probably reveal who the actual father is. Now we get towards the end of the episode, and man, when I say this was really hard to watch, and even going back and catching all these clips, it was really emotional. As you know, you have Colin's mom understanding why he likes Mare's character, but she doesn't like Mare as a person, and there's probably for good reason as well. So they get another lead on pretty much where they could possibly find this other missing girl. But before we get there, you have this really dope moment between Zabel and Mare, and Zabel pretty much confessing a truth, and at the same time, Mare's confessing the fact that the reason why she got suspended in the first place is because she tried to plant drugs on Carrie. And I like the touching moment, you know, because there could have been something there, but Mare's obviously got way too much going on, and she doesn't want, you know, Colin to be a part of all of that. Hell, they even share a kiss, which I know that made Zabel's day, and, you know, even put a smile on Mare's face. But that goes all out the window as we get to the final scene of the episode, and they find out who is the owner of the blue van that was kind of snatching women up and stuff like that. They're able to find Katie Bailey and the other missing girl, but at a price where she went in there not having any gun. The only person that had a gun was Zabel. So essentially Zabel's death in this moment was because of Mare. You know, they went in there without backup. They should have went there with backup and did it the right way, but, you know, Mare did it the Mare way and ended up getting coddled and killed, which I feel like we're definitely going to see the effects of that in the next 2 episodes. I don't know what that's going to do to her, you know, because Colin was a person that really liked Mare. Even though they were able to find these girls before anything happened to them, it was at a cost of Colin's life. I'm wondering what's going to happen next. How is this all going to end with 2 episodes left? How do you guys feel about this episode in the comments below? Is this your favorite episode thus far? Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know your thoughts, predictions. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.